Hello well-wishers and welcome to my channel Aspiring Minds. In today's video, we are going to do Elizabeth Bishop's poem One Art. So grab your virtual seats and let's begin. Elizabeth Bishop was an American poet known for her precise use of language and observation of the physical world around her. She won numerous awards for her work, including the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry in the year 1956. Her poetry often explores the themes of loss, memory, and the complexities of human emotion. To discuss the background or the context of the poem, One Art is considered one of Elizabeth Bishop's most famous poems. It was first published in the year 1976 as a part of her collection titled Geography Third. The poem is often interpreted as a reflection of the inevitability of loss and human capacity to adapt and cope with it. Bishop herself experienced significant losses in her life, including the death of her father when she was a baby and her mother's mental illness, and because of the struggles that she also faced with her alcoholism. She was constantly facing a lot of situations where she had to suffer from loss of loved ones and loss in her life in general. The central message of One Art revolves around the idea that losing someone is something which you cannot ignore. It is an inevitable part of life, and mastering the art of losing is essential and important for building your emotional resilience, your emotional capacity and strength. Bishop suggests that by accepting loss and acknowledging the fact that you don't have a control over it, individuals can better cope with the challenges and changes that life presents. Let us now discuss the line-by-line meaning of the poem. The art of losing isn't hard to master. The speaker asserts from the very beginning that one must learn to cope with loss, and it is not difficult, implying that it can be learned or mastered just like any other skill that we learn. So many things seem filled with the intent. So the world appears to be filled with objects and experiences which we are destined to lose. To be lost, that their loss is no disaster. So the frequency of loss makes it seem less catastrophic. The speaker suggests that losing things is not a tragedy. It is not something where you become sad and demotivated that the world is over. No, because you will see that I'll give you a very funny, simple example. We lose so many strands of our hair daily. Does that make us bald? No, this was just a very literal example which I gave you to show you that even though no matter how big a job it was that you lost, or you lost a loved one, you will see there is always a way to cope with this system of loss that we are subjected to. Next stanza 2. Lose something every day, accept the fluster of lost door keys, the hour badly spent. So the speaker advises the reader to experience loss regularly and to accept the agitation, the confusion, the irritation which may accompany it. The word fluster means to be confused. The moment you lose your keys, doesn't it make you feel extremely disturbed? You're confused, you are panicking about where are the keys to the door. So he gives examples of everyday losses such as misplacing keys or wasting time, which are mentioned to show the real everyday nature of loss, that you lose something literally every day. So when you lose something big, try to build your resilience in such a way, that coping mechanism in such a way that when it comes to losing something big also, you are ready. The art of losing is not hard to master. So the refrain that is repeated over here reinforces the idea that one has to become adept at losing something, and it is something which is achievable according to the poet. Then practice losing farther, losing faster, places and names and where it was you meant to travel. None of these will bring disaster. So the speaker encourages the reader to expand their capacity for loss by experiencing more significant losses and doing so more quickly. That is, the faster you step into this world of losses and you start accepting it and facing it one by one, you will see that how people tend to lose their locations, their identities and directions, as examples which are stated in the poem to show that people learn to adjust when they have to move to a new place, when they have to shift an identity. Think of a woman after her marriage. The very first thing that she has to change is her surname. In many parts of India and the world, this is something which is there, but very quickly this change, if you are able to adapt, you will be able to do better. So despite the importance or the significance of these losses, the speaker reassures that they will not result in utter ruin. If you make a change, you are not going to land up with a disaster or your life is going to be ruined. No, you will, even if you may not find something better in it, but you will at least get an experience of how to adjust and adapt to such changes in life. I lost my mother's watch, and look, my last or next to last of 3 loved houses went. The art of losing isn't hard to master. So the speaker shares a personal experience of loss, referring to losing her mother's watch, which holds a sentimental value. Another personal loss which is mentioned over here is the selling or losing of the speaker's cherished homes, emphasizing the accumulation of losses over time, that one after the other there are losses which the speaker had to face. The refrain is repeated once again, highlighting the poem's central theme that ultimately life will go on no matter whether you win or lose, and you have to learn to live with this particular way of life. I lost 2 cities, lovely ones and vaster, some realms I owned, 2 rivers, a continent. I missed them, but it wasn't a disaster. So the speaker recalls losing significant places, like referring to the cities they once lived in or highlighting the scale of their losses. Further examples of losses are listed, including territories and geographical features, emphasizing the length and breadth of speaker's experience of loss. Despite feeling nostalgic or longing for what was lost, the speaker maintains that these losses did not result in a catastrophe or disaster. He is still alive and he is being able to live his life even today. Even losing you, the joking voice, a gesture I love, I shan't have lied. It's evident the art of losing's not too hard to master, though it may look like, write it, like disaster. So in these lines, the speaker says, or he rather addresses a specific person, probably a loved one, and recalls losing that loved one, including the distinctive characteristics and the way that loved one would behave. The speaker reassures the person they lost that their affection for that person was genuine, expressing honesty and transparency in emotions. The speaker repeats the central theme, emphasizing that despite the pain of losing, it is a skill that can be managed and can be navigated. So the poem concludes with a note of uncertainty, acknowledging that while mastering the art of losing may appear scary, it is not something that one cannot overcome or live with. We can understand this poem better by understanding the themes of loss, resilience and acceptance. To talk about loss, one art portrays loss as something which is inevitable aspect of human experience. The poet suggests that throughout life, individuals are bound to encounter losses, ranging from minor things which may cause inconvenience, like keys getting lost, or even important emotional disturbances such as the loss of loved ones or cherished luxurious items. So by highlighting a variety of losses that a person faces in his or her life, the poem highlights the universal experience of loss which is faced by almost any individual who is living on this planet Earth. So Bishop's repetition of the phrase, "the art of losing isn't hard to master," reinforces the idea that loss is an inherent part of existence and must be acknowledged and confronted rather than being avoided. To talk about resilience, the poem emphasizes the importance of being strong and resilient in the face of loss. Despite the challenges which are faced by people, the speaker asserts that mastering the art of losing is something which is quite achievable. Through the repetition of the refrain and the gradual escalation of losses which are described in the poem, the poet suggests that individuals can develop resilience and adapt over time. By accepting loss as an inevitable aspect of life, the individuals can cultivate the strength and fortitude needed to navigate the difficult experience and move forward. One art also tells that we need to accept loss. It is very important. Instead of resisting or denying or running away from the situation, you need to acknowledge and accept loss so that you are able to gain control over your suffering and see how you can better manage it. So the poem challenges the traditional perspective that we have towards loss, that we all get dejected and sad and we don't understand the impact of it. Remember, life is never going to be a straight line. It gets very boring if it is a straight line. So curved ups and downs are a part of life. Otherwise, the life will have no meaning. It will become boring. It will not feel worth living, because after the loss that we face, the win that comes is even greater. So that's it from this video. I hope you liked it. Do hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel for more such future updates. Thank you for watching. Bye.